Desperation saw Ravi make the decision to re-enter the criminal world last year, when he sought out Nicola Mitchell Laura Doddington for a contact to help him re-establish himself in the drug game. Things quickly spiraled and Ravi was forced to make even more extreme decisions to stay afloat, such as cuckooing vulnerable Kojo Asare Deo Koliosho, imprisoning Harry Mitchell, Elijah Holloway, and leaving him at the non-existent mercy of his lieutenant, Tobias Okiokir, Ion Ibikunal Shadaru, leading directly to his debilitating addiction, Oki's death and the imprisonment of Teddy Mitchell, Roland Manukian. Ravi was later forced to turn informant for the police when Harry reported his role in the racket, with the worry his grassing would lead to Priya and his kids, Avani Nandrahart, Aaliyah James, and Nugget Gulati, Jahaim Rasool Chowdhury, being harmed, crippling him. His removal from the family home by Suki and Eve Panasaranwan, Balvinder Sopal and Heather Peace, concerned the presence of a known drug dealer would scupper their adoption hopes, sent him into hiding following a violent, bloody beating courtesy of his boss. When he returned, he found himself hunted for vengeance by the Mitchell duo of Harry and Laura, who wrought a terrifying revenge on him. After they drugged his drink, Ravi suffered terrifying hallucinations of Nish Panasar, Navin Chowdhury, and savagely beat his son, Nugget, convinced that he was his evil dad. When he awoke the following day and learned that Nugget had been rushed to hospital after a battering, he put two and two together, and his heart broke further when, as a direct result of what he'd done, Nugget was diagnosed with epilepsy. When Priya learned Ravi was behind the attack, she made him swear to keep quiet, but he was quickly unraveling and began self-harming. Priya was devastated to discover the self-inflicted wounds on his body as she tended to him after a vicious beating from Mark Fowler Jr., Stephen Aaron Sipple, one Ravi instigated as a further form of self-punishment. While Priya took Ravi to the doctors, he was told that it'd be a wait before he could access talking therapies, and he continued to worsen. Reacting strangely to a fallout between Nugget and Will Mitchell, Fred Phillips, Suki learned of his struggle and offered to finance treatment, but Ravi had reached breaking point. After another episode of self-harm required a hospital visit, a further confrontation between Nugget and Will led to Ravi exploding and declaring that the entire family must go home for a reset day, though it quickly became clear to Priya that Ravi had no intention of releasing them. Priya, desperate to reach help for Ravi, suggested that they flee Albert Square, though when they got hold of a car, Ravi realized she was taking him to hospital. As he exploded and Nugget suffered a seizure, the family ended up in a collision with Max Branning, Jake Wood, and Cindy Beale, Michelle Collins. Ravi fled the scene, ascending the bridge over Albert Square, where he was found by his family. Determined to end his life, it took the entire family to talk Ravi down, and as they did, he was apprehended by medical professionals and sectioned. When Priya visited him, he ended things with her and demanded she never visit him again. Priya has tried her hardest to hold things together for the family since, working at the car lot to support them while dealing with the emotional fallout of everything that happened to both her and Ravi. Next week, she misses a letter from him, and when she returns home to find him waiting for her, she's absolutely floored. In a much better mental state, Ravi apologizes for the way he treated her following his sectioning, and Priya is utterly elated at the prospect of the two working things out and getting their family back on track. The residents of EastEnders had barely recovered from the chaos of recent weeks when Albert Square was rocked by another massive surprise: the unexpected return of one familiar face nobody saw coming. It all began on a cold Monday evening as the rain hammered against the windows of the Queen Vic. Linda Carter wiped down the bar while trying to ignore the growing tension between the locals. Conversations were hushed. Rumors had been spreading for days about a mysterious visitor spotted near Walford East, but nobody could confirm who it was. Across the square, Stacey Slater was juggling family drama of her own when she noticed an unfamiliar black cab slowly pulling up beside the gardens. The engine stopped. For a moment nobody moved. Then the door opened. Out stepped Max Branning. The shock spread through the square like wildfire. Several residents froze in disbelief as Max adjusted his coat and stared at the place he once called home. His expression carried years of regret, exhaustion, and unfinished business. Word quickly reached the Vic, and within minutes the pub emptied as curious residents rushed outside. "Is that really him?" whispered Freddie. "It can't be," Kathy muttered, stunned. But it was. Max Branning had returned instantly became electric. Some residents looked furious, others emotional, and a few simply terrified about what his return might mean. After all, Max had left behind a trail of destruction during his previous time in the square. Broken relationships, betrayals, lies, and dangerous secrets still lingered in people's memories. Lauren was the first family member to confront him. She stormed across the square, unable to hide her anger. "You don't just walk back in here after everything," she snapped. Max tried to stay calm. "Lauren, please. I know I've made mistakes." "Mistakes?" she scoffed bitterly. "You disappeared when people needed you most." The confrontation quickly drew a crowd. Jack Branning arrived moments later, his face darkening the second he saw his brother. The tension between them was immediate. "What are you doing here?" Jack demanded. Max hesitated before quietly replying, "I came back because there's something you all deserve to know." Those chilling words instantly sparked panic among the Brannings. Inside the Vic later that night, speculation spread rapidly. Some believed Max had returned because of money troubles. Others feared he was hiding from someone dangerous. But one thing became clear. Max was carrying a secret big enough to shake Walford all over again. Meanwhile, Cindy Beale watched events unfold carefully from the corner of the pub. A knowing look crossed her face when Max entered the Vic. Their complicated history was impossible to ignore, and several residents immediately noticed the awkward tension between them. "You've got some nerve showing your face here," Cindy told him coldly. Max smirked faintly. "Nice to see you too." But beneath the sarcasm, something deeper lingered between them. As the night continued, whispers spread that Max's return might somehow connect to a mysterious missing sum of money linked to a local business deal. Phil Mitchell quickly became suspicious, convinced Max's sudden arrival couldn't possibly be innocent. Phil cornered Jack privately. "You better keep an eye on your brother," he warned. "Because whenever Max Branning turns up, trouble follows." Jack silently feared Phil might be right. The following day brought even bigger drama when Max visited the cemetery alone. Hidden behind a nearby tree, Lauren secretly watched her father break down emotionally beside Abby's grave. For the first time since his return, Max's confident mask completely disappeared. "I'm sorry," he whispered tearfully. "I should have been there." Lauren's anger briefly softened as she saw the genuine guilt consuming him. Yet before she could approach, Max received a mysterious phone call that instantly changed his expression. "They know where I am," he muttered anxiously. Suddenly, the situation became far more dangerous. Back in the square, rumors exploded after Ravi overheard part of Max's conversation. By evening, panic had spread among several residents that somebody from Max's past might soon arrive in Walford too. And then came the biggest twist of all. During a dramatic family gathering at number 27, Max finally confessed the real reason for his return. "I've got a son," he revealed quietly. The room fell silent. Jack stared at him in disbelief. Lauren looked completely blindsided. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. Max explained that during his time away, he discovered he had another child, a teenage boy who had recently become caught up with dangerous people. According to Max, the boy had vanished weeks earlier, and evidence suggested he might now be somewhere in London. "I came back because I think he's here," Max admitted. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Branning family. Suddenly everything changed. Max's return wasn't about revenge or money after all. It was about family. But as questions mounted, another disturbing truth emerged. Somebody in Walford already knew about the missing teenager, and had been hiding it. Suspicion immediately fell on several residents, especially after Ravi acted strangely during questioning. Even Cindy appeared nervous when Lauren mentioned the boy's name. As the week continued, the mystery deepened. Max grew increasingly desperate while trying to track down clues about his son's whereabouts. But the closer he got to the truth, the more danger followed. Late one evening, a hooded figure was seen watching Max from across Bridge Street. And in true EastEnders fashion, the final scene of the week ended with a terrifying cliffhanger. Max returned to his temporary flat to find the door already open. Inside, furniture had been smashed apart. A single message was spray-painted across the wall. "Leave Walford now." As Max stood frozen in horror, footsteps suddenly echoed behind him. The screen cut to black. Viewers were left stunned by the explosive return, with fans already predicting that Max Branning's comeback could become one of the soap's biggest storylines of the year. But with secrets, threats, and family drama already spiraling out of control, one thing is certain: Walford may never be the same again. Will they get there happily ever after? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.